What up, good people? Come on in, sit on down. Let's have a chit chat. Don't take my shoes off though, because I'm likely to offend, and you know, we want to make sure that you can leave expeditiously. That's what we want. Always, we want losers to always identify themselves quickly, and then eliminate themselves even quicker. Why would you hang around? Why would you hang around and listen to things that don't speak to you? Why would you hang around and consume content that you disagree with? Makes you angry, makes you pissy. Just asking. I'm Root the Great, baby, and if you're wondering who the hell told me I'm great, I'm wondering who the hell told you that you were not. And why still, as a grown ass adult, you ain't decided to do something about that. You ain't decided to. First, you got to decide to consider that for you, greatness is a possibility, that it could be. I like the way Les Brown frames it. Says sometimes you got to just believe in what's possible. You ain't ready to accept that you can have that thing or that you can be that thing, but the possibility, that's enough to stir you. I like that. So what's going on? You know what you know, as we look at like different conversations that are happening, different things that unfold, I just want us to know that those of us with sense, you know, we partly to blame. Those of us with sense sit back and we watch the fools carry the conversation. We watch the dumbasses steer the conversation. And we shake our head, we complain, we actually help promote it because we think it's so silly, and then we start to share it. So we put more ammunition, more fuel to the fire, right? Get on the phone, go to gatherings, chat about it, and then that's it. We allow the bozos to lead the charge. So we're to blame for a lot of what we're seeing right now. All of us with some sense are. And this whole conversation, this whole dynamic with men and women, um, I don't know what's worse, this or the obsession with race, the obsession with the idea that you're automatically less than, automatically oppressed, automatically whatever the hell, set back. I don't know what's worse, that or you thinking that you can operate in this physical realm and also cut yourself off from the other part of yourself. If we all came from man and woman, what makes you think that you can despise that part of yourself and still operate in a healthy, functional manner? You know your ass is out of order. You know that. And I'm never talking to dumbasses, ever. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even be able to hear me. This shouldn't even come across at all. If you do hear it, if you do come across it and think that you disagree or whatever, you're a liar. You're a liar. You know why? Because it resonates. Couldn't meet you otherwise. You couldn't encounter it otherwise. And I know that despite what is said, despite what is pushed out there, despite what is promoted, that there are not only good men out there, but there are men who genuinely would like, one, to be better, two, companionship. It's real. And if it wasn't, you niggas wouldn't be getting passports leaving the country. You know what kind of loser you got to be? You got to leave the country to get some put? Wow. That is some straight losers. All of that says, every part of that says, I am not him. I am not. Now, there's nothing wrong with leaving the country. By all means, I think more of us, should leave, should explore, should, whatever the case may be. That's a good thing. When your heart leads you to venture out, you should venture out. But when you do so out of lack and fear, that's a whole nother ball game. That's something different. And How are you a man and you can't get what you want out of life? I'm just asking. And so, as all these conversations have been going on about what is a high value man, what is not a high value man, and I see some of them, I haven't seen them all, but I've seen enough. And everybody is defining high value by physical attributes. How disgusting. That's why your lives are the way they are. You are more concerned about what a person does versus who a person is. Ugh, ugh. Nobody has stopped to say, nobody, the physical man is how we're defining everything. Nobody's stopping to say, what about the spiritual man? I want to talk about the spiritually high value man. And ladies, that's what you want. That's what you want. That's what can you be lacking when you got a spiritually high value man? Nothing. Nothing. And for the brothers, what could you be lacking? What could you be going without when you locked in, turned on to who you are, to your nature? Don't you understand that the closer you get to your divine self, you draw. It's magnetism. That the excellence that you want, the greatness that you want to experience, the love that you want to experience, the success that you want to experience is directly connected to your positioning. Where are you? Where are you? What does that mean, Rook? Where are you in your heart? Where are you in your soul? How close are you to that center point? Are you even aware of it? That's the biggest piece. Are you even aware of what it is that, how in tune you are or how in tune you are not to your spiritual self? That's important. I mean, fellas are struggling, the stats would say, more than women when it comes to mental health issues, when it comes to suicide. So the idea that you can lean over to this, I'm just going to become an angry man. Anger is like acid to the soul. All emotions are valid, right? You should be able to visit all of them at any moment when it's needed. But you never stay there. You don't reside in that space. And if you think that you're going to attract a quality, right, high value woman while being an angry, miserable man, it ain't happening. You deserve them hoes that's taking your ass through the ringer. You deserve it. Congratulations, creator. Look at you. Look at you. Just saying. So if we could define this thing, like what constitutes a spiritually high value man, right? Spiritually high value man. And again, I'm talking to the brothers who want more. The brothers who they ain't jaded completely, but it's getting close. The influence, the constant repetition of these ideas and narratives is what they're seeing in their circles. They're getting weary with the process. And something happens to the mind where the longer, I think Maya Angelou said, there's no greater agony than living beneath your potential. And I'd say it's no greater agony than experiencing your full potential. And love is your full potential. You can't turn that off. You can shut down parts of yourself. You can certainly shut down parts of your heart. But love is a necessity. Can't go without it. So if, you know, I'm talking to those brothers who want something different. I like to talk to the ladies, right? Because I think women should address women and men should address men. But when it comes to spirituality, it's across the board, right? So if we had to define this thing, what is the first marker of a high value man, of a spiritually high value man? Ooh, this one is good. This one's so good. You ready? Self-awareness. That is going X about 95% of all the stuff we're seeing floating on the internet. You're not even self-aware. You can't even see yourself. You can't even see that you're a loser. You think money, what profits a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Bozo mode. Like, money? That's it. Money. You go from a loser with no money, you go from being a loser with no money to a loser with money. And I don't know if you ran in certain circles, but I'm going to just tell you that it's a lot of men that are wealthy. We can start at low six figures to 8, 9 figures, right? Who are still losers. They're still losers. You can see it. They try so hard. They feel so good about feeling like they're the man because they got the so-and-so car. They got the Rolly. They got whatever else. But you can't hide that. You can't hide the deficiencies, right? Behind freaking money. When you that guy, you going to get the money. But that is never the primary pursuit. That is not where you find your value. So a spiritually high value man is self-aware. He knows where his strengths are. He knows where his deficiencies are. He knows what inspires him. He knows what triggers him. He knows what his weaknesses are. He knows what his strengths are. And let's just say he's not at the level where he's in total awareness of all of those things. He is at least aware that he needs to become more aware in those other areas. Self-awareness. They had a podcast that circulated a while back, and I don't remember, it was two or three dudes, and it was some brothers. They were telling a story about how they were listening to some co-workers talk about money. I mean, trying to find a man, right? Good brothers that without kids, not married, blah blah blah. And as they're going on, right, they go on with a conversation ends. The brothers are looking at each other like, damn, we saying to ourselves, what about us? What about us? And I'm looking at the video like, do you see yourself? First of all, you're overweight. How the hell? What makes you think? I want to answer to this. Y'all dropping answers to this. What makes you think you deserve, that you have the right to require, to experience something in somebody that's taking greater care of themselves than you are, or better care? Well, Rook, I mean, look at the ladies. Look at the ladies. That's the first sign of a bitch ass man. You're going to redirect it to the women. We talking about you, your standards, who you are. You're saying you want to be a leader. You're saying, follow me. But then you're also acting like the people you say should be following you, the people that you're criticizing. Which one is it, brother? Which one is it? You can't even see yourself. You don't even see how you look. Can't even do the stand up, look down test. Can't even stand up, look down and see your dick. That's the problem. Why is that acceptable? Why doesn't that bother you as a man that I'm asking for this exceptional life with an exceptional woman, right? Reaping exceptional rewards, right? But I'm a half-ass it. I'm gonna just say because I make more than six figures, that should be enough. Well, it's not. And so once you get women who only care about that, then you get your heart broken. Then you come on the internet crying. Second, that's the second indicator of a bitch ass man. You actually coming online crying about your problems. Yeah, I imagine there's some great high value woman who's looking at that saying, yes, turn me on. Can't wait to get with that. Spiritually high value man is self-aware. He's self-aware. 2, spiritually high value man has sight. He got the ability to see. And you know what he sees? He don't see what he doesn't have. He doesn't see what he's lacking, right? He sees possibility. He sees what he can create. That's what he sees. And to have 40 plus million women on the United States, supposedly adult, single, and the only way you can get into a relationship with a woman is for you to go run off somewhere. This is why they're getting finessed too, and they deserve to. You run off to these other countries and you think these women stupid. They know the game too. And they about to come up. And as they should. Hey, even exchange, baby. Even exchange. A man with sight ain't got to do that. I posted that too. And a brother came back. I said there's more than 40 million single adult women in the United States. Why are you having to leave the country? And the brother want to give me stats, right? He want to start pulling some stats about, well, fat. And that's always a go-to. I want you to Google that. Google the percentage of single men who are fat and women who are fat. Guess which one is higher? Yeah, the men. Come on, brother. Bitch ass making excuses. Making excuses. Let's just say half of the 40. Let's go more than that. Let's say we're talking 40 million. Let's say 30 million. All right? Let's say 30 million is overweight, if you say. What about the other 10, brother? Well, they might got kids. Well, if they got kids, they've gotten pregnant by somebody. So we're now being led to believe that all the women are just single mamas, that there ain't no single daddies, that there ain't no men out there in the single pool with kids. We loser. A spiritually high value man has sight, he has vision, he has ability to see what is possible. He ain't wasting no time taking on another broken man's mentality because that man didn't get what he wanted, because that man was taken advantage of, because that man was done wrong. He knows he is the master of his fate. Or is it captain of my fate, master of my whatever? You know how I go. That man knows he's in control ultimately of how his life unfolds. So he don't make excuses. And he damn sure don't blame women. Number 3, spiritually high value man is mission driven, purpose driven, something deeper than just the things or something that moves him. That's why it's important for him to get his counterpart. She plays a good role in that. Mission driven. And it's got to be beyond the physical. The physical things are just a byproduct of that. And you niggas, your mission is to have somebody cook for you, suck your dick, and be quiet. That's what you consider a valuable woman. I guess if it makes sense to you, doesn't sound too king-like to me. Lastly, most importantly, a spiritually high value man, he has heart. He has heart. He has heart to go after what it is that he wants. Right? Imagine some of the great men. We don't have to debate about who's a great man and who's not. Whoever you would define as a great man, right? Whoever that is. Imagine them quitting, throwing in the towel. Imagine them in all of their conquests getting to the point to where they allowed the environment, the circumstances to dictate their future. You ain't even got no heart. Y'all folded. If you really was that guy, You mean to tell me you don't have the power? You tell me you don't possess you tell me you don't possess the presence to draw what it is that you're after? You mean to tell me you want somebody to follow you, that but you don't command, you don't exude leadership energy? You ain't got it? That's what a leader is. You ever seen some of these reality shows, or if you've ever done like what do they call it? It's like character development, character building in your job. If you've ever worked a career, sometimes you do it in college. I've done it on like camps, internship type stuff. And you get formed in these groups, and very rarely is there assigned a leader, but a leader naturally takes their place. You know who the leader is. And men love when we criticize. If I criticize women, which I do a lot, because we need to be criticized, right? We need to be checked. We are on some nonsense, many of us. We are definitely not self-aware of where we are and where we're going. Cool. That's fine. It's like, yes, rah, rah. But when it comes to us applying that same pressure, that same level of accountability, you weak. You weak. And it's not just your wallet that says you're weak. It's not your job title that says you're weak. It's your spirit that says you're weak. Not because it's just weak now. All right? Not because it's just weak. Nope. You've abandoned it. You've neglected it. You don't know who you are. You want to find a woman who deep, but you ain't never explored the depths of yourself. How is that supposed to work, my friend? Can't. Don't work like that. So you're gonna keep experiencing the shallow because you're shallow. You want people to give you more than what you're willing to give yourself. And ain't nobody follow you where? Where we going? You don't even know where you're going. There was somebody asked me when all the stuff was going on with Ye. Like, so, you following Ye. I was like, I like Ye. But I ain't following his ass. He don't even know where he going. Hell no. 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 I get it. I understand the brother, I think, to a large degree. But homie lost in the sauce. See, it's a problem when you want to rage against the beast while you still eat from it. And I ain't talking physically. That's a challenge there. So no, I wouldn't follow. No, ain't happening. And the shallow man is constantly trying to compare himself to the men who are getting what they want in life. Like you're not even confident. You don't even believe in yourself. You want a woman to believe in you, and you don't even believe in yourself. How is that supposed to work? It can't work. So, we'll keep having the conversations, and or the others will continue to have the conversations and impress upon people, and people will take it on, and they will internalize it, and they will try to live out these internet discussions in real life, and it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work that well. Like, some of y'all don't even got no personality. Like, you let's just say you got all of the things, right? You fit, you got your money right, you're handsome, you got a little swag, but you're corny and you ain't got no conversation. You ain't got no personality. That's something you got to work on. No charisma at all. But you would know that if you had some self-awareness. That, you know what? These are the areas that I'm a little deficient in. I'm not as strong in. These are the areas that I need to be better. I need to put some attention on. That I feel uncertain. Any area that you feel unconfident, self-confident or No, vice versa. What is the word? What are the word I'm trying to say? Anyway, any area that you're not confident in is a sign that that's where you need to put in some work. And the only reason that you can't be confident in it, I mean, confidence and competency are directly related. You got to do. You got to get out there. You got to get out of your head. And you got to stop listening to bozos online who taint your view of life. You are allowing other people to dictate your reality. That's the opposite of grown man energy. You are supposed to dictate and determine. You steer the ship. If you can't steer your own ship, how are you going to steer the ship for us? How is that supposed to work? It can't. Can't work. So, spiritually high value man is self-aware. He has sight, vision, mission, and hell. What was the last one? Heart. Probably we can't leave out the love factor, right? But I would tie that into heart. You gotta be tapped into your love self to even have heart or purpose. That heart may not be fully open, and this is the danger with closing yourself off. This is the danger. Like, everybody thinks that they're gonna go in their separate corners, right? So the men are gonna go over here, the women are gonna go over here. We're gonna hate each other. And then behind the scenes, we're going to screw all the people that we speak against. So the people that we say we wouldn't get with and marry, we're still going to screw them because, well, we're still horny, right? And if we don't, then we'll just do porn and, masturbate or whatever. And I don't know how long we plan on doing it. How do you think this is supposed to work? How long do you think we can sustain? We can't. Nowhere else. I told my group this morning. Nowhere else in the world, nowhere else in the universe, on the planet, do you see the separation of the masculine and the feminine energies. Nowhere. But somehow we think that we're going to function in our most optimal state by being in constant discord. Versus, like, we can't even have a conversation about men because the men are going to say, what about the women? Can't have a conversation about women because the women are going to say, what about the men? This is why it needs to be separate. Well, and then that's even a challenge because now you have people leading the charge who just is stupid. There's a verse that I like. I think it's Joshua 24:15, and it says, "Choose ye this day who you will serve." And essentially, one of your greatest tasks is deciding where you're going to reside. Where is your primary location, your primary residency, physical or non-physical? If you want to play here in the matrix, you want to play by their rules and get things based on how whatever the standard here or lack thereof has been established, then cool. I ain't got nothing for that at all. Right? So, but if you don't, right? If you don't, you're going to have to start doing something different. This is when you start pulling away. When you start saying everything that I'm in the midst of is the exact opposite of what I want. I can't even hang with the same people. I can't even listen to their conversations because although I am still kind of there with them, there's something in me that says I want to come out of that. There's something there that says I want to experience something different. How can you be a spiritually high value man and not recognize the divinity within you? There is no limitations there. There is no lack there. It is impossible for you to experience this life without what is yours. And the fact that your heart puts it out there, that desire says it's your, the moment you can see it here is yours. You understand? We don't have to debate this. The moment that it is concepted here, it is real. Now you are tasked with bringing it over to this side. Can you cross it over? Are you that guy? It's either you, him, or you're not. That's what it's coming down to. And I have never, it is very interesting to learn and to work with people, see all different types of people. The level, everything makes sense now. But the amount of men who are self confident, not self confident, what am I trying to say? Self conscious. That's the word. Lack confidence, right? They're always trying to overcompensate. They will not go to war with themselves. That's what you got to do first. You shut everything else out. You ain't even eligible for what it is that you say you want. You should be working on you, and she should be working on her. And then the closer she gets to her divinity and the closer you get to yours, that is what draws you together. And um, there's no exception to that. But, if you want to play the weak man's game and get online and complain about women, and granted, there are a lot of valid complaints about women, but I thought you the head. You mean to tell me, it's like me as a parent complaining about my house being out of control because my kid's out of control. Well, God, I mean, ain't you the head? You got a corporation, you got a business, you have a CEO, you got a head operator, HNIC. You do not get to complain. Even if you feel like you're doing all that you know to do, the results say, I got to do something different. Maybe I got to look at this in a different angle. I got to take a break, different perspective. Maybe I got to get some advisement, some insight. But never under no circumstance that you throw in a towel to say, well, it's just a lost cause. Your child struggling with reading, and you just come to the conclusion that little nigga ain't gonna be able to read. I don't know. Just probably got it from his daddy's side. I don't know. I would think you wouldn't do that, would you? No, because nothing in your mind says that I'm going to quit before getting him where he needs to be, right? He may be a little behind. He may need a little bit more work, but let me see how better I can support him. And you know what being tense does? You know what being angry does? A perpetual state of it. Like, again, we need all emotions. They serve a purpose. They're a signaling. There's a communication system. It lets you know where you are, right? Whether you're happy, sad, depressed, joyful, we welcome all of it. We don't run away from that. But when you stay in that perpetual state, you stay here. Tight. This is how you start developing tumors in the body. Lack of flow. All of this disease that we're seeing, where do you think it starts from? Mind, the energy field comes through there first. It manifests in the body. Even despite all of the stuff that has gone on with the jabs, right? What we know physically about, or technically, maybe that's a better word, about those things, see where the illness is being manifested in the heart. The issues of the heart. That's where you see illnesses always expressed in the weakest areas in the body. Wherever there's tension, wherever there is lack of flow, that's where you start to see. So if that's the kidneys for you, that's what it will be. If it's your eyes, if it's your mouth, if it's your reproductive area, all of these issues we're seeing in the heart, where the emotions of joy and love reside. We out of order. And you don't run away from that. You can go to every country there is, get the hottest ladies, and have fun by all means. I mean, bachelor life, yay, got it. But some of you ain't gonna work for you. You're here for something greater than that. You got some work to do, and you know it. That's the thing. Like trying to run away from it when you know this is why you suffer. This is why you're miserable. This is why, even if you got to the point where you are really accomplishing a lot and getting the things, it's still something else. You're feeding everything other than your soul. What profits a man? That's what the good book say. Yeah, you can't fix spiritual problems physically. You can't fix non-physical things physically. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You got to get to the root of the thing, and you certainly can't fix it collectively. Like, individual problems have to be dealt with at an individual level. You got to have a one-on-one with yourself, mirror moment. Yeah, the dark night of the soul. See, I'm gonna tell you how I know y'all ain't really about this life. You know how I know? Because y'all ain't never had, you ain't had a point in your life that brought you to your knees, that brought you to the fetal position and had you crying your heart out. That, whatever is out there, whether it's God, Buddha, universe, spirit, help, help. That's how you start cracking open. You got to keep beating that thing. Life keeps beating. Now, I always say this. When people say, well, how long, Brooke? Like, damn, seems like I've been going through. I thought I had it figured out and this and that. Like, how long? Until life gonna beat and keep beating and keep knocking until, right? And I don't know how thick of a shell you've created around yourself. I don't know how thick of a shell you've created around your heart, but life is knocking because it's trying to crack that. It's trying to reestablish some flow there, some love there, some energy there. And it'll keep knocking until it does. And depending on how thick that wall is, it'll get harder and it'll get worse. Yeah, it'll get worse. Choose ye this day. You got to choose. This life is about choosing what it is that you want, choosing what side of things you want to live in. Are you operating from pity or power? Point blank, period. Pity or power. There is no in between, faith or fear, right? Which one? Man or spirit? Who you rocking with? Who is your general? That's what I want to know, above all, because that's gonna guide you through. That's gonna be the defining thing. That if I look to the physical, because if you were to look out here, everything going to hell. Families being broken up, schools going crazy, men going crazy, women going crazy, the children, they calling them, they're cutting their body parts off. It looks like a mad world out there. Can you turn away from the system long enough to get what you want? You gotta move your attention. We talked about this earlier. Thoughts, the power of the thoughts. You're trying to structure your thoughts, but you're not focusing on where your attention is, because where your attention is, that's the factory for the thoughts. That's the generator. Where I put my attention now is going to determine what it is that I begin to think. And what determines what I begin to think then determines what I begin to feel. And feeling is the secret. Shout out to Neville Goddard. Feeling is the secret. That's how you create. That's how you draw things in once you get that vibration going. So a lot of people, you know, I guess if you've chosen not to get what you want this lifetime, if you've accepted that, that's one way. I don't know that way because I'm crazy. I'm crazy, baby. I'm crazy enough to go to the end with this thing. Blow it down. What's that song? I burn my house down just to build it up and burn it down again. Gotta know. Like, you don't have that part of yourself that says, I gotta know, I gotta experience this. I gotta figure out. Like, if I never had examples of being a man, if I never had examples of manhood or whatever, I'm gonna figure it out. If I feel deficient, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna seek. I'm gonna at least try. But what I'm never gonna do is make excuses. What I'm never gonna do is blame. You can't say that which is that you perceive to be less than you, lower than you, weaker than you. If that determines your outlook, your future, what does that say about you? It's like allowing a child to make you angry, to lash out, to their behavior to be so influential that they knock you off your game. What does that say about you? If you perceive yourself to be higher, if you perceive yourself to be more mature, um, more whatever you want to call it, right? What does that say about you? If the women can determine this thing, are you really the power force? Are you really this stupid ass alpha male? Really? Because I would think the alpha male would be able to come in and command this thing. This is what it is. This is what it ain't. This is how we gonna roll it. This is how we gonna do it. You can't. You ain't got it. At least not yet. What you gonna do about it though is the question. That's always the question. What are you gonna do about it? How do you get serious? Like spirituality is not a woman thing. It's not a female thing. We are divine beings, all of us. So when you gonna get serious about that part of yourself? And when you're gonna determine that you're gonna get what you want? That you're gonna get what it is that you want? That I'm gonna be this version. If I feel like I'm not, right? If I feel like I'm not the man of the moment, if I feel like I'm not rising to the occasion or that I'm not capable of rising to the occasion, God dang it, I'm going to invent the person who is. I'm invent the man who is. And I ain't gonna let up. And that by itself, it's gonna take care of the rest. It's gonna open the door to what it is that I'm after. Love. What is a man without love? Angry, bitter, mean, violent, miserable. The greatest of these is love. So think about it. Are you a spiritually high value man? Do you want to be one? Are you moving in that direction? Are you serious about your progress? It's not a race. This is a journey. This is a process of discovering yourself. There's an excavation process that's happening. You're digging to see what it is that you see. And initially you ain't gonna like what you see. I'm gonna tell you that. And if you do like what you see, you certainly ain't dug deep enough. What you gonna do about that then? That's what determines how valuable a man really is. Whether or not he can command people following him, people trusting him, people believing in him, people respecting him because he's done the work. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it.